Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Woodbrew video. If you're new here, my name is Dylan, and my wife Molly and I have been doing woodworking projects full-time for a little over 6 years. And since we've bought this house here, we've been doing a lot of other projects. So if you're interested in around the home projects and, you know, the camper build, which is why you're obviously here, be sure to check out the rest of the channel because I think there's gonna be a lot of content in there that you will enjoy. I think we have almost 250 episodes, maybe more than that at this point. So there's a lot to watch. So if you're brand new here, I recommend going back and checking out some of the old videos. If you watched last week's video, you'll know that Molly is out of town handling some family emergency business, and unfortunately that has taken a bit of a turn for the worse. So if you will, continue to keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and leave a comment down below, just giving her a bit of a boost because she's going through a lot right now. She's got a lot of responsibilities, and she's taking it in stride, but I know that it's been really tough on her, and she needs a little help keeping her chin up. So it's actually Friday already, so I've had an entire week to work in the shop, yet nothing has changed. And that's for good reason, because we have a brand new family member right here. Her name is Mabel. And if you've been following us on Instagram, you will have already seen her, but this is our puppy Luna. She is a rescue pup that we rescued actually off of a job site. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. And she was in a really, really bad condition. I'll put some photos up. But Mabel wandered into our backyard at the beginning of this week, and let's just say this week has been all about Mabel getting her a new fresh start, headed to the vet, cleaned all up, come here baby, and starting to get fed because she's very skinny and she has lots of little sores and stuff on her, but she's really she's really starting to get a bit more spunky now and is definitely feeling a lot better. I will say it's a bit of a wild timing, and one that I think was just meant to be, that as we lose a family member, we bring a new family member into the house. Hey Mabel. Hey. And yeah, I think her and Luna are getting along quite well. So if I'm being honest, I'm just gonna see what I can get done today and a little bit tomorrow. And so this video, again, you know, might be a little bit short and whatnot, but let's just jump right into it and see what we can get done. Anytime there's an overwhelming part of a project, I like to just pick something really small, start on that, and usually that's a nice, slow, progressive ramp into the day and into the build. So we're just gonna start back here in the back by putting a shelf back in, as well as starting to put the Formica on the actual galley countertop back here. It's a real simple, easy task to handle, so let's get them done. This roll of Formica is probably, gosh, 4, maybe even 5 years old. It's one of those things that was a scrap and I was like, I'll use that one day. And it's set in storage forever, but you know what? I proved a point for all of us today. You can use it just one day. Oh, it is like a little short. But I think I want it lined up. No, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. Okay. I also realized that I'm completely out of gloves, which this is pretty much the worst thing to not have gloves for, so hopefully I don't get any contact cement on myself. That's stinky. Now we just wait for it to tack up. All right, fingers crossed. Whew. That's stanky. I should not have done that as the first thing of the day. What a rookie move. Oh man, we gotta figure out something else to do out of here while we let this place air out. Golly. Well, while we're letting the shop air out, I'm gonna get to doing some of the yard duties around here because Molly actually loves cutting the yard, weed eating, doing all that stuff. So I typically let her do that, but yesterday I got out here and I cut the yard, and I actually cut it pretty far back because, as you all know, we've been sort of working on eventually one day turning the rest of our wooded parts into, you know, actual serviceable lawn. And I have to say that this is the first time I've been able to cut it with a 0 turn, or at least the majority of it, and it's looking pretty good. But there's a lot of places that need weed eating, and yeah, so I'm going to get to that. It's also a good opportunity to work on Mabel's recall and her ability to be off leash, because it's super important to Molly and I that she end up being good off leash, because Luna is very good off leash. We've trained her since we first got her to have great recall and be good off leash. That is one of the most freeing things you can possibly have as a dog owner. And normally, like in Luna's case, we had to do that with a long leash and a long period of time of, you know, training over and over and over to be able to get her to have that level of recall. However, now is a great opportunity to work on it basically free of charge with no leash with Mabel, because she's so food driven. Because we just got her and she's skinny and she's a puppy, all she wants is food. So if I keep food with me, she's gonna follow me and she's gonna walk around with Luna and stuff. So I'm gonna work on, you know, calling Luna to me and getting Mabel to come at the same time, because she typically likes to follow Luna around. And it's just a good opportunity to get out here today while the weather's nice and get some yard work done, as well as work on our new baby's recall. Luna saw me get the treat bag out, so she knows. She's staying close to my hip. I guess it's also going to be a good chance to let Mabel get accustomed to loud noises and things, because Luna, on the other hand, is probably the most incredible dog I've ever had as far as being just completely unfazed by loud and, you know, sort of typical scary dog things. So we'll see. Mabel, come. Alright, I got a lot of weed eating done, but it's time to get back in the shop, let some of these batteries recharge, and we'll get back out here later. Oh man, guys, this did not go well. Ooh, pieces are just coming up everywhere. I guess the plywood soaked up way more of that contact adhesive than I imagined and made it sort of a dry joint, but this is not on there. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, shouldn't do that. Maybe the contact adhesive is old too. That could also be a factor. Oh my Lord, what a disaster. What the heck? What the heck? Wow. Well then. While we're letting that stew in the brain as to how we're going to go about fixing that, I'm going to go ahead and try to reinstall this shelf up here. There's been a lot of layers of epoxy and all sorts of things that have gone in, and I can already tell you it's a lot tighter than it was when it came out. So this might get interesting. Yeah. Definitely gonna need a hammer. Round 2. Dylan versus the kitchen shelf. Well, I'm just getting my absolute butt kicked today. First, you know, the whole fiasco with the top not working. Now this guy's not going in, and I've basically broken it trying to get it to go in. So this could be going a lot better, but it's not. It's not going good today. Sometimes you just have those days, though. I'm sure many of y'all can relate to always having stuff to fix around the house, with the cars, with the electronics, with just things in life just constantly breaking, and someone's got to fix them. Or maybe you've recently gotten a big hefty repair bill and you're looking yourself to figure out how you can go about DIY fixing something. Well, I got a solution for you, and that is our good friends over at iFixit. Now, if you watched pretty much any of our videos recently, you will have seen me talk about iFixit a lot. But one of the things that I've failed to mention that is a big part of what iFixit does is they have really amazing guides on their website. So next time you have a project and you need some guidance on how to fix stuff, you can head over to iFixit's website, and more than likely there's going to be some type of guide to help instruct you along the way so that you can get the job done and save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Now, iFixit does a lot more than just have guides and sell toolkits and parts. They also are fighting for yours and I's right to repair, which is super important. But I'm very excited to know that they have a really cool sale going on. They're doing a garage sale, and one of the things that you can get is a mystery box full of awesome goodies inside. You are guaranteed to get a toolkit and one of their new products, as well as a plethora of other goodies in here that you might not have even known existed. This was really fun opening it up, so I want to share with you guys some of the things that we got inside. So we got the Mako Precision bit set, these digital calipers, this fast charger with USB-C capable of 65 watts, which is good enough for your laptops and things. But the cool thing about this is that it's see-through, so you can see all the electronic components inside. A prying and opening tool assortment, as well as one of the things I'm most excited about is this precision cleaning kit, because it has all of these micro little cleaners and toothpicks and little bitty tweezers and things. All the sorts of like tiny little detail things that are kind of hard to get. So this is a really cool find. We got some ESD safe inspection gloves for when you're working on sensitive electronics, a 10-pack of wire organizers, which I'm a super big fan of, a ton of iFixit merch, and actually a little bitty keycap with the iFixit logo for your keyboard, which is really cool. These are really thick strips of electrical tape, and they're already pre-cut, which is pretty neat. And lastly, a fix mat, which is one of my favorite products that iFixit makes, so I'm super happy to see one of these in here. So of course I will leave links in the description below where you can find all these mystery boxes as well as the parts that are 30% off. And as always, thanks iFixit for continuing to fight for our right to repair. Sometimes it's best just to switch gears, so let's try to install this porch light. What could possibly go wrong with that, right? So here's what we're kind of calling the porch light that we're installing. It has an outside switch, which is nice. So if you're outside the camper, you can turn it on and off, obviously. It also has this cover that goes on here somehow. I think you can switch these out. So you can switch it out for an amber color if you don't want the bright white, or if you, I guess, want to use this as a running light of some type, you could use this too and turn it on and off when you get out. But these come with these really standard twist connectors for the wires, and I don't think that's a good idea. So we're using something called Q-Ject, I don't know. These are solder seal wire connectors. When the guys from Lane Shark came over and installed our Lane Shark on the tractor, they had some of these, and I was like, oh my gosh, gotta get me some of these. I'll show you what they are in just a second, but I'll leave a link to these in the description below, because if you're ever doing any sort of wiring, especially in a marine application or car application, trailer, anything like that, these things are legit. All right, so what this is it's solder in the middle and then heat shrink tubing on either side. And so basically you stick your wires in here, you can twist them up if you'd like, slide this on, and then heat it up. And so not only does it heat shrink it, it also solders the joint at the very same time. Pretty clever little connector here, and these things are really, really cool. All right, so we'll just add a little heat, and I'll give you guys a close-up of this in just a second. Let's see. There goes the solder. Will about float out the end. So you definitely need these guys to be pretty flat, because the solder just about came out the end here. Oh yeah, there we go. That one worked better. I guess we eyeball it, right? It's probably good enough. A little pro tip for you guys, anytime you're using tiny little screws, you ideally should pre-drill and or use just a screwdriver. But if you're gonna use some sort of drill, don't use a driver. Use a drill with a clutch. You know, it's got the numbers on it, and turn it way, way down. That way you don't accidentally strip out the screws. So I was gonna center these, but now I think I need to off-center them because I'm gonna have this trim ring coming around here. You know, it should go right here, ideally. Should be enough room still. Maybe I'll put it up a little bit higher just to be on the safe side. Ain't going nowhere. Obviously I still need to seal up around this thing, but first light installed. While we're doing these small simple tasks, let's put in this air vent. This air vent is actually in the interior cabin low, so that when you turn on the vent fan at the roof, you're actually pulling cold air from under the trailer into the trailer and then out the roof to really help cool this thing off. It also is going to help passively vent the trailer when it's just sitting there and it's in the hot sun or whatever. You just don't want the inside to get too terribly hot. So this piece goes on the inside, so I'll push it through this hole that we already have, and then this piece goes just like that. Well, of course, got to clean that hole up. All right, I managed to get this piece through, and then this guy goes on just like that. But now I'm realizing that I can't actually put this thing on until we do our bed liner stripe that goes on here, because it's going to get all this is going to get bed lined again. Oh man, we're at that point in the project, you know. Things are just going to take a lot longer than you really want them to. It seems like you're so close to being done, and there's just so many little bitty things. Now just here on the other side is where our power inlet goes. So this is where you'll plug in shore power at a campsite. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So this is gonna also be in where, so this is also gonna be where bed liner is, so I can't do too terribly much, but I can at least make sure everything fits and get it all sort of working and then easily remove it. Stop eating it. It's not, hey, stop eating it. Not for you. Oh, oh my goodness. Okay. No, 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 no. Not for you. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. There we go. Okay. Let's turn. Does this have holes somewhere in it? Interesting. Okay. There we go. Now here on the other end of the outlet is just a standard wall plug, and that's because we are going to have the most basic power system here possible. This is going to plug into a Jackery power station, which is going to sit right here, and then that is going to power all the 12 volt systems as well as the 120 volt systems that are in this camper. So right here, although this really isn't necessary, this was like $10. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a fuse system for the 12 volt equipment in here, just because if there's ever an issue with a 12 volt something in here, it doesn't make the entire camper not work. So for $10, if you're out camping, some water gets in one of the lights, throws one of these fuses, it's not like the entire camper is going to constantly short on the Jackery side, which is just going to make the camping trip not very enjoyable. So for 10 bucks, it's pretty cheap insurance. Although because we're using the Jackery, it's really a pretty safe system as is. But this is going to get mounted somewhere right in here, and then the rest of all of our wires are going to come through this hole here, under the floor, and right into this box. Bummer. Those are going all the way through. So you need to either snip those off or get some shorter screws. Alright, that's in there. Well guys, that's all the time I have this week. I've actually got to go edit this video, and that takes me quite a long time because Molly usually does it and I haven't done it in, well, let's just say a while. So I gotta relearn everything. So if this video isn't quite as good as it normally is, I apologize. But we've got some of the wiring done, but man, this week sort of kicked our butts, didn't it? You know, sometimes you have a week in the shop where things just don't really go as planned, and you just have to roll with the punches. And I know it doesn't seem like I got literally anything done in this video, but I am gonna finish up some of these things, like I'm going to reapply this Formica off camera today once I get the video edited. I just need to basically put a lot more contact cement on there, and it should be good to go. And then I'm going to start wrapping up some of the smaller bits of wiring, which I'll see in next week's video. So sorry again, bear with us this week, and hopefully we'll have a lot more to show you next week. Thanks guys so much for watching. Thanks for the continued support and love, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.